Hey guys, welcome to the conversation. I'm Jerry,
I'm Ryan.
and this is Two Brothers Off Script. If you like what we're doing, hit that subscribe and notification button down below. We've got a lot of cool videos out there. We've been doing this for a while now. We really enjoy it. And this week we are starting the 25 Shots of Christmas, so check that out.
This is the off-script buzzed edition.
In the new playlist. So that'll be down there. So lots going on this week. For me, I had 5 kids and my wife with the flu. My wife is still sick. I've got kids
You
still
have 5 kids this week?
5 kids sick out of 6.
Okay, I was going to say that's a busy birth week.
And my wife was sick. So things were really going on. Had to leave work the other day, took them to the doctor, had a brand new symptom. We've never seen this before. 2 of my girls literally could not walk. They were in so much pain in their legs, like they couldn't stand up.
Which fluey.
Yeah, it's super fluey, super flu, influenza type B, the doctor said, and I guess it's a very common reaction in kids is that they'll lose the ability to walk.
So they got to get that shot or something,
and
right?
parents have to carry them well. The flu shot doesn't protect from influenza B. So, I mean, you can get it. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but for their medicine. But from my perspective,
I haven't gotten it, honestly.
I don't care. We have some friends who've had really, really bad reactions to the flu shot. I don't know. I think your kids are going to get sick whether you get it or not. That's just my opinion. In fact, I was talking to a lady at work today. She said, "Oh yeah, my kids are sick too. What a bummer! Oh, it's so terrible." I said, "Did you get the flu shot?" She says, "Yeah, I get the flu shot every year." So, I mean, sticking your kid with a needle and they still get sick, I don't know. Sounds like a lose-lose to me, right?
Yeah.
So that happened. I work in shipping stuff is my main job, and this is the crazy time of the year. So we've got stuff going on. We got all kinds of changes going on at work. People are sick. I'm in the last couple of weeks of my school. Stuff's going on. So that's my week. What about you?
So my week's not too bad. A lot less hectic, actually, despite the upcoming move. I mean, our paperwork is signed on our sale.
The sale that's going out.
The sale of our house. We're waiting to sign the final paperwork on the house we're buying.
New house.
And it's a really short move, but again, moving to a house with a yard, a full surround. It's an actual house, not a townhouse.
Where smokers don't have stuff going through your window.
So I did that. I don't know if I talked about that, but
you went and talked to the neighbors.
I talked to the neighbors. Yeah, I made sure. A lot of people don't get to know their neighbors, and I made an effort before they even became my neighbors to get to know them, because our renters next door have a tendency to stink up the joint, and I'm really
literally pun intended.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that our buyer is more, friendly, I guess, but we just avoid it as much as we can. So that's going on. I got no sickness yet. Hopefully that stays that way. I took my medicine earlier.
There's an invisible force field right here keeping us.
The overall works pretty good. We're coming back from the holiday. We took Thanksgiving there, so everybody was pretty lagging. They're just feeling the Black Friday blues, I guess. It really hits a lot of people different ways. Some of us go out and we just buy everything we can. And I got it all. I saved everything. I made
all of the money
happy. And then a couple of weeks later, it's all done. Your Christmas is over and you're moving on to the next one. It's like, at what point do you do less, honestly, because our society is ramping it up to an unsustainable level.
Every day.
Consume this, consume that. And I mean, this is kind of an interesting segue to something I wanted to talk about, where I guess to wrap up my week, it's been coming off of No Booze November. I'm the lightest I've ever been. I had continual droppage, and I'm just pretty proud of myself for being able to keep the weight off and continue to lose weight. Hey, less calories, less weight. But I wasn't even the last couple months, I haven't really been overdoing it. It's like 1 beer at a time as opposed to 2, and so, yeah, just taking time off of something that you might enjoy for just to see if you can. You know, it's like show myself, prove to me. And this isn't the first time I've taken 5 months off, 3 months off, 6 months off, month off here or there. I would take a month off every year no matter what, just kind of to prove that I can do it. And I've heard studies that say it's actually really good to do that. At least 1 month cutting out something like that. If you know you're consuming something that's bad for you, take a month off. Like, I'm not going to drink coffee for a month. Caffeine is a drug for every one of us.
For sure.
And it's legal and it kills people. It literally kills people. So it's one of those things that if you're in a situation where you are maybe making a choice that requires you to pound 3 or 4 Red Bulls or something to get through your day, you might want to just take a break and see if you can anyways to find out your addiction.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Well, cool. I think globally there's a lot of stuff going on. And we'll run through that real quick and then get to the topic of the day. So, crazy stuff, right? You've got
Kim over there.
You've got Kim Jong, who wants to die a fiery nuclear death, so he's just going to keep doing.
Trump recently said this is somebody who wants to commit suicide.
Then he said, "We'll take care of it." right. Like I was talking to General Mattis. We'll just take care of it, right? So, he's got artillery pointed at South Korea, and he said he'll, kill everyone in Seoul, South Korea.
I'm more afraid for them than us.
Well, sure, for sure, right? Because if he shoots one missile, that dude is gonzo, right? So that's going on. You've got the conspiracy or controversy or whatever we want to call it of Trump retweeting a post from a hate group, right? You've got the royal family getting married, which was
another marriage in the royal family of a group of people who don't really do anything.
They collect money for being rich.
They're figureheads,
right? You've got that going on. You've got the tax thing, which I just read actually a little bit ago. I guess is going through.
It seems like it's going through. The latest, I was listening to the radio on the way over. They were talking about that. It said because none of the Republicans want to be the person who killed the possible tax reform. And they say that there might even be a few Democrats on board.
So we'll see how that goes. And then you've got, and it's interesting too because I keep hearing in everything I listen to the statement that this is a tax cut for the rich, and I'm like, okay. Yes,
lowering
because
taxes.
Their tax rate, and this is they don't ever say the numbers, right? So their tax rate goes from 39.6% to 38.7%.
Right,
1% less.
It is a tax cut, but
it's a tax cut for the rich.
People only read headlines, and that's unfortunate. I don't have time to dive deep into every topic I think about on a daily basis, and so I listen to smarter people than me on podcasts and stuff like that, and I really get a lot of information, but it's all opinion-based most of the time. There's some facts.
Even the news is all opinion-based right now.
It's unfortunate. It's who do you trust for your information? Hopefully us, even though we don't know anything. And if Ben Shapiro, he said he's going to get screwed. He's literally going to get screwed on this deal because he lives in California, and income tax will no longer be deductible. Our friendly Democrats over here just tried to implement a statewide tax bill. They say it's only Seattle-based, but eventually anything that happens in Seattle travels to the rest of the state, or at least
I don't want to pay income
seaboard.
Tax.
I don't want to pay an income tax.
I've moved out of states where you had an income tax, and you know what? I'm going to tell you, this is the interesting things. Schools were not any better. Roads were not any better. Traffic was not any better. So we spent
$500 million on homeless problems.
What did I get? What did I get from paying that tax?
Nothing.
Zip, right?
Yep. Every situation is different, though. If you live in California, you probably make more than I do. Honestly. Wages tend to...
I made more when I lived in California, but it didn't matter.
You spent more money
because
to live there.
I paid more money to live there.
Yeah.
I left the state, took a pay cut, and made more money than that I took.
Hey, I could go live in the Congo, but I wouldn't have internet. So,
right.
I mean, it's...
Well, that goes to what you were talking about earlier.
It does, but... still sticking with what we're blasting through right now. I like the pace.
Global news.
We're sticking on the pace. We got the fire in us. If you are in the state of mind that says that someone else has more, so they should pay more, I honestly think that that's wrong. I don't think any one person should have to cover more of the brunt. I think that it should be a simple number, percentage. We all pay an equal percentage.
Yeah.
The more you earn, the more you pay. Simple as that. Corporations are a different thing entirely, but that's to be handled by other people.
So you're talking flat tax.
A flat tax,
You
which,
get as a percentage of your income. That's what you pay.
and there's no possibility of increase, because if the government wants things to go better, all they have to do is find a way to increase wages, which means more jobs, which means a positive net benefit for every individual in the country.
Right.
If you make $0, guess what? You don't pay any taxes anyways. Even in this state, like, you're homeless, we'll give you money to get off the drugs. We'll give you a house to live in while you're doing the drugs to get off the drugs. So it's a ridiculous thing that any one person should have to pay more than another person. But if you do make more money than me, you're going to pay more taxes. That's plain and simple. But the problem is the more and more people pay another guy, and that guy knows the loopholes. Cut the loopholes, make it a flat tax. Everybody pays the same. Hey, man, I had to pay $6,000 in taxes last year. Oh, you? I had to pay $7,000 in taxes. Well, you must be doing better than me. You know, it's like, it's a relative thing.
And to me, a flat tax would be awesome. I love the simplicity of it. And I don't agree, and this is my opinion. I didn't agree when I was a cart pusher at Walmart. I don't agree now. I haven't agreed at any point in the middle of my career that I should pay more money as a percentage of my income than somebody who makes less money than me.
Like
I
a
have-
higher percentage of your income.
Yep, I have never felt bad to me it's the incentive, right? I am incentivized to make more when I know that I will have more.
Right now, if you make more money, you pay more in taxes.
And
You
there are
pay
brackets, right?
60% totals.
It's down to the dollar, right? Because there has to be a break-even point. There are many points on the income ladder where you step over this line, right? You actually lose money.
Yep.
That's how it works. You step over the line, you lose money.
Corporations
And it
know to pay out bonuses.
incentivizes this bouncing around lines, right? Instead of, I want as much as I can get.
Yep.
I want it all the
Sky's
time.
limit, because as soon as you charge the guy who makes the money, that pays you the money, more money, he ends up saying, I don't need to pay that guy because that guy can do his job and his job. That guy lost his job, and that's how he saves his money.
It incentivizes a wrong kind of behavior, right? And we want people to be incentivized who are business owners to be as big as possible and do as much as possible, because they're going to benefit and because everybody else that works for them benefits. Like, people say, well, yeah, but, that rich guy, man, I mean, he's taken from me. Bullshit. It is ridiculous.
You got the fire in this
Yeah,
guy.
it's just ridiculous. They didn't take anything from you. I'll quote Ben Shapiro, okay? Bill Gates did not get rich by taking money and selling windows to poor people.
Nope.
That's not how it worked. He didn't go to poor people and mug them for his billions of dollars. He sold a product that had value to people that had money.
And those people have, in this day and age, decided to live as misers, off-grid, tiny homes.
I know, right?
Best of the best. Like, if you haven't recently seen this TV show, it's like the Tiny House Builders or whatever, where they go and they
Oh yeah, on
live in
HGTV.
They go buy
Tiny home living.
Yeah, they go buy a plot of land, or they demolish a house, and then they're like, you know
Even
what?
better.
I don't want to live in a giant mansion. So they build a house the size of a shipping container, and then they fill it with super expensive stuff. It's like total price only $375,000, and the average home here costs $650.
This is
like,
the Carrera marble inlaid.
Oh, it's so nice. I love it. And what's that? Is that a retractable awning? Oh, that's only $7,000. Oh, what is that? That's a stairway to heaven? Oh, what is it? A tractor beam that gets me to the loft area? It's ridiculous.
Here's
to
my
think that less
Tempur-Pedic
is
mattress.
more. Yeah. So I saw that sign. That's what brought this whole thing up. Was someone said other people are happier with less than what you have. And
Arrogant jerk.
I think that that's a relative term. I think that if you have a very comfortable style of living, and then you see a millionaire, you want his money. You might not go like, I have to have his money. I've got a good state of living. You're probably thinking, it would be nice to have that much money. I'm not jealous of his money, but if I had his money, I wouldn't feel bad about it. And then there's people who are like, man, I got $5 in my bank account, and I'm hungry, and I know if I buy this caramel macchiato at Starbucks, they're gonna overdraft, and it's gonna cost me $37.95 for this caramel macchiato, and payday's not for 3 days, and I gotta buy a pack of cigarettes. It's like I gotta do all this other stuff. You know what? Caramel macchiato, gotta get it. Man, that rich guy, he's got all the money.
We should take some of it.
Yeah, and
We should rob him. And
let me put on my face mask and run down the street on May Day and smash up Nike front windows. Like, none of it makes a difference because we've talked about it so many times. You made choices and you had bad luck, and how you recover from bad luck, because nobody gets away unscathed. Everybody, the richest basketball player's son, whatever, that guy, made a bad choice. Got a break. Now he's dealing with the consequences of not saying sorry or whatever.
And certainly life is unfair, right? Sometimes rich people get away with stuff. Sometimes poor people get away with stuff. Sometimes middle class people get away with stuff. I mean, we're in this period, going back to global news for a minute, where it turns out everybody who's rich and powerful is trying to like sexually assault every woman they ever see. Okay?
That's so much of what has always been happening, and it makes me sick to think that it happens, and then once one person comes out with it, then like everybody piles on. Like, if it happened to you 15 years ago, go ahead and say something. Say it to your therapist, and then let the cops know. And if it's in the statute of limitations for whatever the crime was, then hopefully the accuser will take the hit.
And that, I think, I would say this, right? Because to be sensitive to people who have been through bad things, right? Like I get why people are afraid or embarrassed or ashamed and they don't report sexual harassment. I personally have been the investigating manager on sexual harassment cases, and I know for a fact in multiple cases in multiple companies where I have seen companies not take action against people that I knew for sure were guilty, where I told the management they were guilty, and I have seen people get away with stuff in sexually harassing women. And it's disgusting, and it makes me super angry, and there are many cases where I personally have felt powerless, even as a manager, because the bosses that I had or the company that I worked for wouldn't do the right thing when they were reported. And I think a lot of these companies, in a lot of these cases, that's what's happening, is people knew, people said stuff, and the bosses didn't do the right thing.
And so this is the call to action then, is unfortunately you have to put yourself out there. You have to go above the person and hope that it works out. If you care, you can do something about it, but then
there's a risk.
Personal risk.
There's a huge risk.
So it's not even on you, like, to do this. It's the person who is reporting this thing. They're coming to you, like, hey, here's the number of the guy who can actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfortunate, but maybe a strike, maybe a walkout, maybe something can happen. But if you think that as a victim, if you're a victim of this type of scenario, you have to act. You can't be reliant on somebody else to take the hit for you, because unfortunately you're the victim, and not everyone will stand up. You know, it's sad that it happened in the first place, but not everyone can stand up for you, because maybe you're a liar. Like,
well,
that
and,
happens
and,
too.
and beyond that, right? Like everyone, like
I'm sorry if I just called somebody a liar.
yeah,
who's a victim,
I mean,
but
so
it's
here's
not.
the thing, right? Certainly there
That
are cases
happens.
of false accusation, right? But let's take it at every case is legitimate. Let's just say,
Okay.
sure, every case is legitimate.
Every accuser must be
Okay.
believed.
Now the problem is the people in that line, and this is everyone. If the people at the top of that company won't do the right thing, all those people have families, all those people have debts, all those people have risk, right? And when they go to bat for you and they're going to quit and they're going to walk out and they're going to lose their job because you don't want to hold somebody accountable because you're embarrassed or you're afraid or you're scared or you're hurt or you're traumatized.
Maybe go to the cops.
Yeah.
Technically, sexual assault can happen in many forms. Uncomfortable behavior or something like that is
Right.
completely different. But
So it is horrible. I've lived through working through these cases with women and men who have been the victims of sexual assault and sexual harassment, and I have seen a lot of companies do it the wrong way.
I got one. I'll make it quick because I think we're almost out of time. But when I was about 16, I was working in the mall. Any mall will do. And there was a girl I liked, which tends to happen. And I tried to be friendly. And I said, hey, you know, like I'm just hanging out, like you're working the candy kiosk or whatever, selling gummy bears or whatever. Like, hey, what you got? Talking to her. I might have been a creep. I might have been an idiot as a kid. I might have come off with no game, so I was awkward, which is always creepy. Like an awkward guy into a girl, it's just creepy. And all I was doing was being friendly. And no matter if I wanted to date her or be her best friend or be in the friend zone or whatever, it's like I thought I was totally normal, just talking to a girl. I come back to work after that, like I'm a kid. I got nothing else going on in this day and age. I'm hanging out at the mall, watching movies, playing video games, doing dumb stuff. I go back to work at the mall where this girl works, and my boss tells me that I got fired because she came in and said, so-and-so was creeping me out a little bit, like stalking me or something, because I show up to the mall after my shift. And I was like, so basically, this might come out if I ever run political. I was not being a creeper, but that was perception, and everyone's perception, you know, it's like, so me as a man, I have to walk a very fine line around women. Like, I'll take Ben Shapiro's rule. I'm not going to hang out with a woman, Mike Pence's rule. I'm not going to hang out with a woman other than my wife outside of work. Like, if I don't even work with any, but if I did, I wouldn't hang out with them outside of work. Just plain and simple.
Just too dangerous.
Protect myself.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so that was sexual harassment in the workplace was not where we intended to go with this, but that's why this is Two Brothers Off Script. I will close, because we just got a couple minutes left, but I will close my part and I will say this. Like, I believe that if you are a victim of sexual harassment, you've got to report it, and you've got to do it right away, and you've got to do it until it gets fixed, because you're protected, right? And if that company retaliates, it retaliates against you, write everything down. Then you write everything down. Second, you go report it. If things are happening on social media or whatever, you take snapshots, you take photos, you take records, you write everything down, you take all your photos, you take all your records, and then you go report it. You bring your whole packet of stuff in, copies of it. And
Press record on your phone, stick it in your pocket, go report your incident.
You drop it off, okay? And you say, I want resolution on this. I want a solution. And if they retaliate against you, you get any lawyer anywhere in labor law and you sue the bejesus out of them and you take all their money and you walk down the street. Because that's what companies who don't deal with sexual harassment correctly need to have happen to them. And the managers who are involved, who cover it up, who make that decision, are wrong, and they're dirtbags. And even if they're just protecting themselves, they're making the wrong choice. And that's the way you handle it, is documentation and reporting. And as a manager, as a man in the workplace, as a boss, like, you have to look at women and men in the workplace as people and not treat them as objects of attraction.
Yep.
That's the rule. And that has to be the way that you treat people.
Yep.
So that's my bit.
Yep, this ain't Mad Men. You can't go slapping secretaries and smooching them in the bathroom. It just doesn't work anymore. So, moving on. This is the new age, people.
Guys, thanks for watching. That's our show this week. If you like what we're doing, hit subscribe. If you don't like what we're doing, give us a comment down below, and we might read it.